Welcome back to Battleworn episode 2. We just came up with this name 30 seconds ago. I am AJ, part of Team Adventure Co. Gaming, with Ryan, also part of Team Adventure Co. Gaming, and we are here to bring you everything Flesh and Blood, talking about all the news of the day. Big stuff happening in our game as always. And Ryan, are you excited to talk about Briar living for another season?
Oh, I'm always excited to talk about Briar living for another season. But I will say, coming up with the name that you mentioned just now, we just like to do things on the fly. It's our style. So,
That's what we
it
do,
works.
baby. That's what we do around here. Yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to actually get this going. 2 weeks in a row, that's like a record for us, man. Getting this out there.
We've had our moments, every now and then. We come together and we make things happen like we're supposed to.
Absolutely, right. And we've been consistent with the Grand Archive videos. Now we're consistent with the Flesh and Blood videos. This channel is going places, baby. I'm ready for it. So, speaking of Briar, we got a bunch of topics. So we got Briar living, we got Briar living, we got implications of that going into Nats. We got Dusk till Dawn, what do we want from it, drafting Monarch, and then I went to my first casual armory. Let's start with the casual armory because I think that's actually something that people kind of want to hear about. Casual armories have been something that Flesh and Blood LSS has just recently started doing, at least at an official capacity. So what happens is they pick one of the more casual formats, so that's like starter deck format or even UPF, which I'm really excited for. I hope someone does UPF kind of near eventually.
We have to actually have a use for something like Yoji, Valda, or these the characters that they gave us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And even Shiana, that just seems so much more fun in UPF. But so you pick one of those formats. We did Blitz, so it was still like normal Blitz, same thing. But the big difference is that all prizing is raffled off that week. So instead of it going to the winner the event, the cold foil gets raffled off. So we actually had 2 new players show up, and it was great. And I think a big part of it was because this was a casual armory event, so they felt more, inclined to go, which I think is awesome. I think, man, I mean, it's just so much. The vibe was just so much less daunting, and everything, and it was awesome to have them there. And funny enough, the seasoned veteran still won the raffle for the cold foil weapon. I'll take it, but it's in the spirit of the event, I actually the one of the people that I was playing against, he was playing Chain, and I said, hey, are you interested in or he was telling me how he was interested in the new Shadow Runeblade hero for CC, and I said, after all was said and done, I got the packs, I got the cold foil, I just looked at him and I said, hey man, you can take it. This is yours. And he's like, oh, what do you want for it? What do you want for it? I was like, nah, just keep coming out. That's all I want from you. Just keep coming out. So definitely want to shout out to the Haven for that, because running those casual armories, it's a bit of a leap off of a little bit of a ledge there, because we have a really competitive player base in Central Florida, and to kind of host one of those is a big deal, and I think it worked, and I'm excited to see more of it.
I think it's great that we have these opportunities to still keep a competitive mindset most of the time, because we have, at least in
Yeah.
Orlando, we're lucky enough to have multiple stores running regular armories on a monthly basis, multiple times a week. But even if it's just like twice a month, we have those armories where new players can try, feeling like they have the same chance to win as every other player, or for us to take a break and maybe try something new without feeling like we're missing out on the promos we're still trying to win. I think it's the kind of like little break each month that the game needs, where people really focus on the idea of just playing the game and having a good time, rather than having that always turned on competitive mindset that is great. Don't get me wrong, and especially when it comes to making more interesting games, but it can stress people out or burn people out sometimes.
Right. I think it's a big deal that we also get a break from those competitive events. I mean, we were seeing like a little bit of burnout from a lot of people. I think just being competitive 100% of the time just led to that. And I think even in our little play group, that I think we're seeing players kind of peel back from that a little bit. I mean, RTN season just ended, and it was already kind of in its kind of ending phases. Like by last week, there was like one more RTN that was semi-local, not even local at all, but it was close enough to get to.
I will say I was on that same train where I was just like, now the timing didn't work out for something else I had planned, but even if I had a free schedule, I think I would have just like after the 3 back-to-back ones that I did, or 3 over the 2 weeks that I did them, I would have probably just declined going anyway because I was kind of like after the last one and kind of some unfortunate results on my end, I was kind of like I need to step back for a second. So
Yeah, and this was actually the first competitive season that I completely skipped since Flesh and Blood came out. I did not play a single RTN. Kind of wish I did. Kind of wish I got a cold foil Uzuri, but at the end of the day, I think it did a lot for me in my longevity for Flesh and Blood. I think I kind of needed this one to kind of take a step back. And a lot of people complain about the meta and stuff and how they don't like. And I think for me, I think it almost doesn't matter like what the meta is. I mean, as long as it's not like Starvo tier 0 garbage, then that's fine. But I think it really just came down to just being. I mean, it's 2023. We started playing in 2019, and I think I've been competitive since at least like coming out of COVID, so mid 2020 in Florida. So
yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so I mean that's a long time to be just focusing on what's the best deck, what works, what doesn't work, and I still like doing that, but I think I just needed this break, and it makes me more excited to jump into it. I've been doing that a lot for Grand Archive recently, trying to be competitive. We got a big event coming up for that, so I think it's just like it was a good breather, but like Flesh and Blood is definitely the game that like I really want to be the most like really competitive in. So. But even stepping back from competitive, like we were just talking about casual armories, I think like playing it, like finding, I guess like discovering the game in a casual sense has really helped. And I don't mean like in a filthy casual, like I'm not going to try, but like I just mean like just going to like an armory to have fun and like not making it about my record.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, like, especially for you, because your hero's coming back this summer, and you've already talked about how you're excited for Prism to come back. So, I mean, you talked about being competitive or choosing a deck that wins, but you also said in our last podcast that you were going to stick on Prism as soon as she came back, no matter what,
I did say, and I do believe that. So no matter what, I will play Prism no matter what. At what capacity depends on how good she is. I will be honest. So I'm very much.
That's
on
fair.
The
you
train
you can have more than one main. Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely always have pet decks and everything kind of made up, but I'm definitely on the train of playing the deck that I think will give me the best chance to win at anything higher than an armory, right? So if I'm going to a ProQuest, I'm going to a Road to Nats, I'm going to Nats, I'm going to a Calling, anything like that, I am over. And I think this realization has helped me a lot too in a weird way, because even though I'm talking about casual and going to have fun, I think when I am trying to be competitive, I think playing the deck that I think gives me the best chance to win and that I'm prepared to win with will lead to less frustrating results.
Yeah,
because I've said for a long time, real quick, I've said for a long time that at a lot of these bigger events, it's not the fact that I lost, it's the fact that I felt unprepared when I lost. So like, I think if I go into an event with the deck that I think will give me the best chance to win, and I'm the most prepared on and have had practice into the meta, even if I go like a frustrating like 2 and 4 day 1 or something like that, if I went in with a game plan and I executed that game plan every time and it just wasn't the right game plan, then that's one thing. It's another thing when I go into these events and I'm coming up with a game plan on the fly. I'm like, oh, what should I do here? I'm playing against Briar or something, which is like
you didn't give yourself the best chance to win. I should have a plan for
Briar, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
But
and I think that's a good way of mindset to go into it, because at the end of the day, even if you sit the 2 best players across from each other, one of them has to lose. So it's not like losing is a sign that you were bad at the game or that you did something or that you came unprepared. But if you came you'll feel it if you came unprepared, and that stays 100%. With you. So
no,
I definitely agree with that sentiment.
And these events aren't cheap, you know, like to get to these like ones that are farther away. So gotta make the
Yeah.
most of it and take advantage of it. And when I say play the deck that I think gives me the best chance to win, notice I didn't just say the best deck.
Yeah, of course.
Uh, like whatever the perceive. I'm not saying I won't play that, but I'm just saying like there's a difference between just playing what the perceived best deck is and then playing the deck that you think gives you the best chance to win any given tournament. So I'm just gonna go in with that mentality and that mindset and just do my best, man.
Yeah, that was kind of what the mindset I tried to go in with. Like, I obviously didn't play anywhere near any of the three meta decks. I played Rhinar during the events, but I felt like I came
Hey,
in with prepared with a good chance of winning.
you stole some wins, right?
I did get some wins, and like I said, just that last Sunday at the collective, those I started off with 2 wins and then just went into 3 straight losses. Not because anything particularly went wrong necessarily, but
It just went more right for your opponent.
yeah, I guess that'd be the best way to explain it. There was some unfortunate timing for certain cards to show up when I needed to defend, obviously, but it happens. It happens. So
Uh,
I definitely
so
felt prepared, even if I wasn't playing the best deck. So,
that's good. That's great, man. All right,
but
well,
getting
so
back to the subject of Prism, yeah, I think this is a nice time to transition to talking about what we're expecting or maybe some of our hopes from Dusk Till Dawn.
okay.
Or do you have something else you want to switch to? I can cut this out.
No, that was great. No, that's fine. That's perfect.
Okay.
We were kind of talking about casual. So Dust Till Dawn is an expansion set. Comes out mid-July, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think we talked about that. So it comes
Yeah.
out mid-July. So it'll be a brand new meta with hopefully a brand new meta with well, we definitely know we won't have Oldhim by that point. And we definitely know we will have Briar. So well, technically there's 2 events before the ban list that she could still win. So there's a Battle Harden and something else. But anyway, so going into Dust Till Dawn once. I mean, as much as I just want to say Prism's good, but I feel like that's a cop out. I'll say this. I'll say this. I hope Angel Tribal, if that's a thing, I hope that version of the deck is good. And so what I mean by that is it feels like a lot of times that LSS will design a hero with like some kind of concept in mind. And Briar is actually a good point of this. They'll design a hero with a concept in mind. So for Briar, it's like fusing and like all the earth element stuff and, you know, certain cards that like didn't really see play. Like, I mean, there's so many lightning and earth cards that just didn't see play in Briar, especially during the 0 cost Briar time. That I kind of felt like, I think in the DM Armada video today, he kind of said it the best. It's like it's the best unexplored deck that's ever been created.
Yeah, I definitely get what you mean. Just a lot
Maybe
of untapped potential or just unused cards.
things that like weren't explored, like like Channel Thunderstep feels like it could be really busted in Briar, right? You could play like non-attacks that don't have go again, but you can give them go again and trigger a lightning embodiment on maybe like things like a tome, Fiendel, gain some life and gain some cards let you fuse. Like it just seems like there were things that could have happened in that deck that just didn't really get to pan out because of how just kind of busted the way her ability worked. So and it
Yeah.
didn't really care about the lightning and earth cards. So going back to what I was saying about Prism is that I hope that she's designed with like the angels in mind, if that's part of the deck. So the way the weapon reads is we think that it will because it's angels and heralds attacks you can give go again. So I just circling all the way back. I hope the angel archetype is good, and I kind of hope that that's the best way to play Prism when it comes out.
No, yeah. Thankfully, we do see that the staff is already giving some attention to the angels specifically. So, if nothing else, at least the staff kind of like plays into it. Now, her hero ability will be a big,
Oh,
or
it's huge. I mean,
should
it's the whole
be a big
the whole way that
indicator on whether they're
thing plays.
going hard into the angels versus some other strategy. But I think even just having the staff is a good sign that the angels are going to be a focus for her gameplay.
I'm really curious about her hero ability too because I feel like Prism, again, a lot of this like hinged on Luminaris, but Prism making a Spectral Shield with her ability is not inherently broken. I mean, you need a card in your soul, you need 2 resources, and 2 resources for essentially 1 shield is like terrible. Of
But
course, it became kind of like a Kadachi, and you could stack shields and things
yeah,
like
but
that.
with Luminaris, it became strong because that's what turned it on.
Right.
Even if you had zero, if you had no other cards in hand, you had a reason to
Right.
pitch.
Right. And her hero ability was kind of like an outlet for that, right? So even if you kept 1 card in hand, if you had a card in soul, then you could pitch a yellow to make a shield and turn your whole turn back on, right? But like we're seeing that the staff, the new Luminaris, doesn't have that ability at all. It just says give your Herald or Angel go again for 2. So
I mean, it's
uh,
kind of the same. You're pitching 2 to give stuff something go again.
yeah, but
It's the
it's not
same thing,
everything.
kind of.
It's one thing. But that being said, I just hope that and if it's not, that's okay. I'll still play it because I'm a sucker. I'm a Prism
I'm sure
simp.
she's
But
gonna get something good with her hero ability that focuses on angels, because angels weren't even a thing back when the old Prism was out. So now we have a whole new mechanic that they can add some layer of development to in Prism herself. So I've especially, what was her title again? The new title?
mm.
All right, whatever it is. It sounds bad.
The young Prism is Advent of Thrones, I think. The
I mean, that
old
sounds
Prism, I
pretty
don't
badass.
know. I can look it up real quick. It's on the Nationals for 2023. It's the promo you get, which I have to like lobby people for it because I'm not going.
But no, it sound either way. It sounds badass. So you know it has something to do with the angels, since they only just introduced it in Dynasties with the single one. So yeah, I'm like 90% certain her ability is either going to complement or facilitate angel gameplay.
I didn't mean to snap my mouth that bad, but participation prize is Cold Foil Prism Awakener of Soul. So
That sounds pretty
I just
badass.
I just don't think there will be a world where they make Prism bad. It's like James White's like favorite hero
Well,
or
hang
one of
on.
his
I don't
favorite
think they
heroes.
ever intend any hero to be bad. Even like Azalea back in the day. I don't think they built her
No,
around the idea of being bad, you know?
no, I don't think they intentionally go in with being bad, but I think they definitely go in thinking like this hero's power level is higher than this hero's power level. And I think that's just specifically for draft sets. When you're converting a draft set into classic constructed, you kind of know that, right? You're kind of like, not every hero from this is gonna be tier 0
No,
or
yeah,
tier
of
1.
course. That's just card games in general, yeah.
No, no, no. But what I'm saying is like they're balancing mostly around draft in draft sets. They want the draft experience to be balanced as possible. Case in point, Seeds of Agony being a 0 cost. That change was made specifically for draft. We heard them say that. So it was originally a 1 cost, and then at the last minute before they hit print on the set, they were like, Seeds of Agony is a bad card if we keep it at 1 in draft specifically. Then Classic
Yeah.
Constructed rolls around and it's busted as all hell with Chain. So
Yeah, I think they've stepped up their game since then. I know it wasn't your favorite set, but I think Outsiders did have a pretty dynamic level of drafting with having 2
no,
distinct
I'll give it
heroes
that.
for different classes and having some multi-class cards introduced. So,
I'll definitely give it that.
hmm.
No, 100%. I will definitely give what you said. I agree completely with what you said. I think it's probably, completely honestly, probably one of the best draft formats since Monarch. And Monarch's my favorite. So,
Monarch was a
um,
great draft format, and you know what I think complements both of them is that they both had a strong set of generics that
mhm.
everyone had a chance to use, with some dynamic gameplay just behind those cards in general.
My favorite thing about Monarch, and this is true for the first 2 sets as well, is that they're it's true for the first 2 sets, but not as clear. So in Welcome to Wraith, at least for Welcome to Wraith, I can say for sure. So in Welcome to Wraith, you had like the heavy classes, and then you had like the nimble classes. So you had like Bravo and Reinar were the heavies, and then you had Katsu and Dorinthia were like the nimble classes. And even though they weren't like labeled light and shadow, you know what I mean? They were still very much like, this is a good Reinar card, and this is a good Dorinthia card or Katsu
Absolutely,
card. You know what I
absolutely.
mean? There was the 2 kind of archetypes. I mean, there's a little bit of sub archetyping. You could go deeper than that, but overall, you could see like these cards are made for the heavies, and these are made for the nimbles or whatever. So you know what I
Yeah.
mean. And Monarch kind of takes that and goes, no, this is like good for the 2 shadow heroes because it's a shadow card, and this is good for the 2 light heroes because it's a light card. But I just really like that kind of like sub-typing, sub-archetyping in the draft format. I think it makes it really interesting because you can like read a whole different signal. You know what I mean? Like class is one thing that's a very, the one that everyone's very clear on, is like, is Prism open, or not even just Prism, but you know what I mean? Is Illusionist open, or is Brute open? But even you go deeper before that, you can say, is Shadow, like, am I screwed if I take Shadow cards at this point? Because there's at least 2 Shadow people to my left, or something like that. Like,
yeah, no, the Monarch introduced that extra dimension, and like I said, it also supported. I don't know why I keep coming back to this, but I feel like it's important in these kind of sets that when you have talents that really make the hero shine, you still need the generics to kind of keep that kind of gameplay going, so that in case you don't necessarily get all the strongest cards for your hero, you're not collecting baubles at the end, necessarily.
oof. Yeah, I didn't see too many baubles in Monarch Draft. You know where I saw the most baubles of all things? And I thought this was impossible.
Are you?
I guess not impossible, but no, it was Uprising. Uprising felt like I
Oh,
saw
that's
so
right.
many.
Well,
I saw so many.
that was a weird one because like they had one ice hero that was very specific on like not even just being specific to ice, being very specific to being a wizard, versus the other characters that it's like if you're not playing wizard, you suddenly need like all the same cards as those 2 characters need besides their class differences.
I don't think it helped that an Uprising, it was such a foregone conclusion that people thought Fi was so good that you just force Fi, and then you would have like 5 Fis at the table, and inevitably like 1 or 2 of them's like, I need 2 or 3 baubles.
Yeah, that didn't help.
And then they would still win.
Yeah. The bauble still pitches for 2. That's a sword swing.
It's like, and they still won. Go figure.
Yeah. But
But
to get back to where we started with this.
What do you want out of Dust Till Dawn? I didn't ask you.
So I'm definitely down for more Levia support because I'm always down to go back to her and give her another try without dying to blood debt, hopefully as much this time. But I am excited for Vincent too. I do like Vincent's design, and usually I base my like for certain characters based on, even mostly on just their character design, as long as they also have a fun play style. And Vincent looks like she's got like her adult form if the poster is like her adult version. I think that was confirmed. She looks like an Iron
artist.
The
I forget
armory.
his name, but the artist confirmed that art was the adult.
Nice, nice. So yeah, she looks like she's like an Iron Maiden, which is just like a cool visual.
I mean, the young
style.
art, you see the spikes all in her arm and shit.
I mean, that's just shadow for you, you know. There's no gain without pain.
I think a lot of her stuff is going to care about hurting yourself.
That's also the other interesting thing is that her flail is the first. I think it's the first anything in Flesh and Blood that has health as a cost.
As a cost, I think you might be right. I can't think of anything else.
No, I mean the closest to otherwise we had was like Beast Within that penalizes you for each card you banish, but it's not the cost.
Or like Blood Debt in general. But yeah, to your point, it's not a cost. It's more like a side effect.
Yeah, it's more of like side effect or upkeep or just like effect cost or something. Whatever you want to call it.
This is gonna sound so stupid, I think, to a lot of people. I want Blood Debt to matter in a way that isn't just Levia kills herself every now and again.
Or Chain dumps a bunch of cards into his blood debt that doesn't matter so long as she's not at 0 health, basically.
That's what I'm saying, because Chain, the blood debt cards never stayed, right?
Except for the Husk.
Yeah, I was going to say, until you Husk, which like almost didn't matter. I mean, Husk is 6th life until, whatever, I have my own problems with Husk as a card, but anyway.
It's pretty good.
I want there to be like a world where you have to like eat blood debt if you're gonna use blood debt as like kind of like the whole like flavor of it. Like to me, like you're paying a blood debt, like I owe blood to the demon or whatever, so like
I think the good news is we kind of already see that with the new whatever that
I do
new
not remember that card's name is. The one with the Banshee, Vorpal Banshee or something like that.
Phantom Banshee.
Phantom Banshee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
rune
there
gate
is one
effect, the
there,
fact that you can't even play it from Blood Debt unless you have the rune chance, which is cool.
which is also interesting. The
Hmm.
fact that she even cares about rune chants, because in Chain, a rune chant was just every now and again
An
because the way
extra
the cards
damage,
lined
yeah.
up. Yeah, every way the cards lined up, you were just like, well, I'll make a rune chant with my grasp, and then I'll swing or something. So
Yeah, I'm okay with them coming back to rune blades having more involvement with rune chants in a generic sense rather than just being a Viscerai thing. I mean, the whip already makes one if it hits, so that's one way they can make one.
it's weird though because it's one-handed, and like everyone was thinking like, oh, you swing, swing, but it's like if you swing and hit with the first one and then you swing the other one, it pops the rune chant.
I think she's gonna get another offhand. I think she's gonna get a different offhand because remember, now this is because they were technically two different axes, but when we had Bolton's armory kit with the cold foil axes, they gave you a copy of each.
It sure did.
Again,
For
they were
sure.
two different names, so they kind of
Yeah,
had
it was
to.
like
But
east
with
and
the
west,
whip, you only
whatever it
get
was.
one. And I
Strength
think,
and body and mind. It's
yeah,
like east and west.
and especially if we look at the armory promo, that one side of her arm is like covered by a big shield-looking thing. She might have a different
Mhm.
offhanded weapon. She is a knight.
Good point.
Or a rune. No, no.
But
That's only Viscerai, who's the Arc Knight. But what I'm trying to say
yeah,
is that rune blades are still kind of mage warriors. So having a shield, even or some sort of offhand, would complement the fact or
I
complement the
think that would
flavor
be
to it.
really cool. Maybe it's like the first time you create a rune chant, each turn pay one, create an additional one. And when I say pay one, pay a life.
Yeah, maybe it's a book or a lantern or something else that's like
It's
a
a book.
kind of more of like a mage artifact or something that creates more rune chants.
If there's anything rune blades need, it's more books.
It matches the theme, is all I'm saying. They're technically half mages.
Was that book two-handed?
Yes.
That's so silly.
Yeah, it wasn't the best. I think it was very good if you really want to go all in for the OTK rune chant strategy, but I don't think that would ever have competitive viability now that Skelet is gone.
Agreed, agreed. All right, what do we got left on the docket, Ryan? We almost did everything. I guess the biggest thing we kind of left till the end is I guess we didn't really talk about it at length, but Briar lives another day.
Yeah, 2 points to go. That's definitely
998.
believable.
Right where Prism, I think. Prism was 996 or 998 or something
She
for a
was
minute.
very close before she
Yeah.
finally went off on the final events that's put her
Outta
over.
here.
So, but you said
No,
there's two
yeah.
more events before nationals that can send
No,
her out.
one's a battle hardened, and I don't know what the other one is off the top of my head, but that could happen for sure.
To
But
be fair, I think the reason why she didn't even LL is because she's not as big in the meta right now as
well,
like.
she gets wrecked by a ranger who's on a roll.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was about to say. You kind of just get auto-wrecked by Ranger with most, if not all, of those on-hit effects that have a slight bit of hindrance. And if not, just getting out-damaged by all the go-again arrows with blood rots and stuff. And then you have... No, you have a good matchup against Dromai with her, right?
yeah. I mean, yeah. Illusionist has always struggled into Runeblade, unless they were specifically tailor-made to deck chain out or something. So
Yeah, and
um,
Oldham was definitely a problem for Briar, but obviously he's going to be gone, so...
yeah,
Maybe she picks up a little bit of steam with Oldham being gone, or with... So Dusk Till Dawn's going to give us more Shadow cards. It's also probably going to give us some more Runeblade cards.
it also gives us a Briar card.
Briar card?
There's the Earth specialization
Oh,
card.
that... You're right. The specialization we got for her. The defend 2 with 2 cards, create an extra Earth or
Yeah, the Unity was
embodiment of Earth. There you go.
Yeah, get an embodiment of Earth, and then the actual effect of the card is just play it, your next attack gets +1. But the more importantly, it's a blue earth.
Yeah, it's better. It's a
Earth
better
card
alternative than
distribution.
Weave Earth and to some Tome of Harvests even because no need for that extra step of setup. But it's a buff card with Go Again,
You
non-attack.
think
So it works with everything she wants to do, even if it's blue powered.
you think there's some cooking the books going on over at LSS, keeping her legal so she gets to play with her specialization before she heads out into the sunset?
I don't think so. So I'm actually
I'm
so
joking,
obviously.
for the record. I'm joking.
Well, I was gonna say technically we know that's not true because even though it hasn't been revealed yet, there's gonna be an Oldham specialization in this set. There's no way they predicted that Oldham would have just automatically gone
He's
out.
on the key art. He's on the key art, right? So
He is?
yeah, when the mosaic.
Oh, the stained glass. Okay.
Stained glass or whatever. Yeah, if you look at the bottom left, you can clearly see Lexi and Oldham.
Oh, I didn't look at it that closely, so that's just my bad.
I think it's definitely Oldham, and I think it's also Lexi. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Lexi that you can see very clearly.
Okay, but I was saying in general, if we got a Briar specialization for this set, we were obviously just going to get at least one with Unity for all the characters, probably. Most of the characters, anyway.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
so we're going to get an Oldham one we won't be able to use for Blitz or CC for a while. Gotta save it for... No, you can't even use it in Commoner because it'll be Majestic.
We'll see. I mean, well,
Guess it's a dead card.
no specialization is a dead card as long as Shiana exists.
True. We do have Shiana, and now, because of Briar, we at least have an Earth card, so if it has, like, Earth Fusion on it or something, we can use
And
it.
we go full circle because you can use Shiana in all your casual armories.
And you can use a new Shiana specialization, too.
That card's pretty good.
I mean, the
I will
Unity
say-
effect alone, what was it called?
the one where it's basically a quick in for non-attacks. I don't remember the name of it though. It makes any non-attack have go again.
It began with an E, I think.
Probably.
That token. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's already a good one for playing, or a good argument for playing Shiana with, like, Tome or something, so have at it, guys.
I think it's really funny that Shiana can play, like, very interestingly into most elements now because of specialization. So, like, you can... It's not good, I don't think, but don't get me wrong. But you can do it, so you can Endless Winter fusing with Frost Hex.
You can also Force of Nature fusing with that other Briar specialization.
Yeah, with the new Briar specialization. So, I mean, you got some fuses going on with Shiana, which is hilarious.
Good thing they banned Stubby Hammers.
And if you ever have to, actually you won't because he's LL, but I was going to say if you ever go against Oldham, you can always Earth react with it or Ice react with the Frost Hex.
Yes.
Which would be really funny. So... R.I.P. I really wish I would have seen
so much
some of that.
potential gone before it even had a chance.
But again, going back to casual armories, you can play all those characters in UPF. So gone but not forgotten. And I'm sure we were not really going to talk about this, but yeah, I mean, there's probably a Living Legend format on the horizon. I mean, we already know about it. We know it's going to be a world side event at the least. So that's what James White said on other podcasts, I believe.
That'd be, I mean, I think that's a great place for it at the very least. If you're going to go to a major event and maybe you want to play a throwback hero for some tickets to get some nice things at the end, why not?
Yep. And I think with that, we're going to go back to playing Diablo.
True.
But I just want to say, if you guys can, make sure you leave a like on this video, comment down below, and subscribe if you aren't already. Our last video pushed us over. Really, we got a lot of subs from our last video, and we want to keep that momentum going. And really, it helps us push out more content for you guys eventually. We want to put out a lot of cool stuff, not just podcasts. So I want to thank Ryan for always joining me on this one. You know, we're committing this time. We got the name.
Always happy to be here, and you know we'll get some of that. We'll get some live gameplays down or live streams for gameplay for testing in the future. So we'll have more coming up in the future for sure.
And we'll be talking about every new Dusk Till Dawn card as it comes out. You know, that next podcast that comes out, we'll talk about anything that's new. bring the news to you guys and just kind of talk and give you our thoughts. And we want to hear your thoughts down below. So definitely make sure you comment down below. And again, sub, it helps us out a lot. So it's all the pandering I'm going to do. And honestly, just enjoy yourselves. Get yourselves out to your local armories, especially your casuals, and support new players. That's something our game really needs. So really support your new players. You know, give them those cards that they need if you have them to spare. Find a place if you can to really get them started. I think it really helps out your local communities. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it for us.
Yeah, Flesh and Blood's definitely a game that's got a lot of merit to it, and is definitely a lot of fun once you get over the hurdle of like getting into it. So the easier we make it for new players to get in, especially at these casual armories, the better. We got to make it seem like it's lively and a lot of fun, you know. But yeah, go out to your local armories, support your local armories, and we'll catch you next time. Anything else, AJ?
Absolutely, that's it for me, buddy. Let's get out of here. Peace.
Later.